Hello everyone, my name is Parminder Gill. Today I will present a musculoskeletal case involving 46-year-old male who presented to the primary care clinic with acute low back pain. The patient initial and identifying information have been changed to protect privacy. My patient is JK, 46-year-old male. His chief complaint is the patient reports that his pain began 5 days ago. After lifting heavy boxes while moving furniture, he described the pain as aching and tight across the lower lumbar region without radiation into the buttocks or lower extremities. He rates the pain as 6 out of 10 with movement and 3 out of 10 at rest. His symptom worsened with bending, lifting, prolonged sitting, and changing position. Rest and application of heat provide partial relief. He has also taken acetaminophen with minimal improvement. An important part of the history was assessing for red flag symptoms. The patient denies lower extremity weakness, numbness, tingling, gait disturbance, saddle anesthesia, bowel or bladder dysfunction, fever, unexplained weight loss, nighttime pain, significant recent trauma, history of cancer, intravenous drug use, chronic corticosteroid therapy, and previous spinal surgery. His past medical history is significant for hypertension diagnosed approximately 5 years ago. His current medication is amlodipine 5 mg orally once daily. He has no known drug allergies and denied previous surgical procedures. The patient is married and works in a warehouse where his job requires frequent lifting, bending, and prolonged standing. He denies tobacco and illicit drug use and report occasional alcohol consumption. His review of symptoms is positive for low back pain, stiffness, and discomfort with movement. He denies lower extremity pain, weakness, numbness, tingling, urinary symptoms, bowel or bladder dysfunction, fever, unexplained weight loss, night sweat. On physical examination, his blood pressure is 136 over 84 millimeter of mercury. His heart rate is 78 beats per minute regular rhythm. Respiration rate is 16 breaths per minute regular. Temperature is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Oxygen saturation is 98% on room air, and BMI is 29.1 kilogram per meter square. The patient is alert, oriented, cooperative, and in no acute distress. Inspection of lumbar spine demonstrate no deformity, bruising, erythema, or swelling. There is tenderness and increased muscle tension over the bilateral lumbar paraspinal muscles. There is no midline vertebral tenderness, lumbar flexion and extension are mildly limited, secondary to pain, and the pain increase with forward flexion. Straight leg raise testing is negative bilaterally. Neurological examination demonstrate 5 out of 5 lower extremity muscle strength. Bilaterally, sensation is intact to light touch. Patellar and Achilles reflexes are 2 plus and symmetric. The patient has a steady gait and can walk on his heel and toes without difficulty. No focal neurological deficit are identified. Based on the history and physical examination, my primary diagnosis is acute lumbar strain. This diagnosis is supported by onset of localized low back pain after heavy lifting, lumbar paraspinal tenderness and muscle tension, pain aggravated by movement and forward flexion, and mildly decreased range of motion. The absence of radicular symptoms, neurological deficit, bowel or bladder dysfunction, and other red flag findings further support uncomplicated acute mechanical low back pain. My first differential diagnosis is lumbar disc disorder with radiculopathy. This diagnosis was considered because lifting can precipitate disc injury. However, it is less likely because the patient does not have radiating the leg pain, weakness, numbness, paresthesis, neurological deficit, or a positive straight leg raise test. My second differential diagnosis is vertebral compression fracture. This diagnosis is less likely because the patient has no significant trauma, osteoporosis history, chronic corticosteroid use, or focal midline vertebral tenderness. My third differential diagnosis is ankylosing spondylitis or inflammatory back pain. This diagnosis is less likely because the symptom began acutely after a mechanical lifting event. The patient does not report chronic symptoms, prolonged morning stiffness, alternating buttock pain, or other inflammatory features. No immediate diagnostic imaging is indicated because the patient does not have a red flag symptoms or neurological deficit. Current evidence recommends conservative management and avoidance of routine imaging for uncomplicated acute low back pain because unnecessary imaging does not improve clinical outcomes. For the treatment plan, I would encourage the patient to remain active as tolerated and avoid prolonged bed rest. For pharmacological management, I would consider naproxen 500 mg orally twice daily with food as needed for pain for 5 to 7 days if there are no contraindication. Before recommending NSAID therapy, I would assess the patient's renal function, gastrointestinal bleeding risk, blood pressure control, and concurrent medication. I would recommend using the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration. For non-pharmacological management, the patient may apply superficial heat to lower back for 15 to 20 minutes for several times daily. He should temporarily avoid heavy lifting, gradually return to normal occupational and daily activities as symptoms improve. Gentle lumbar mobility exercises may be started as tolerated, followed by core and back strengthening exercise after the acute pain improves. Physical therapy may be considered if symptoms persist or significantly limit the patient's functional activities. Patient education includes teaching proper body mechanics and safe lifting techniques such as bending at the knees, keeping object close to the body, and avoiding twisting while lifting. The patient should follow up in 2 to 4 weeks if symptoms persist or sooner if symptoms worsen. He was instructed to seek medical attention immediately for new or progressive lower extremity weakness, saddle anesthesia, bowel or bladder dysfunction, urinary retention, fever, or severe worsening pain. Reflecting on this case, I learned the importance of performing a focused history neurological examination and red flag screening when evaluating acute low back pain. This case strengthened my clinical reasoning because I had to distinguish uncomplicated mechanical low back pain from radiculopathy, vertebral fracture, and inflammatory back disease. It also reinforced the importance of using evidence-based recommendation to avoid unnecessary imaging while providing appropriate symptom management, patient education, follow-up, and clear return precautions. In my future practice as a family nurse practitioner, I will continue to use systematic approach to musculoskeletal complaints and individualized treatment plan based on patient findings, medication risk, and current evidence. Thank you for listening to my presentation.